Hi everyone, can everybody hear me? I'm kind of hoarse, so... Anyway, I'm Allison Metler. I'm a student at Southwest Tennessee Community College, and we'll be talking to you guys today about some work I've been doing with Athena Academy with teaching herpetology online. So, y'all probably already noticed this is a education symposium, but how do you teach herpetology? But everything I've heard this says you physically get live animals into your students' hands. And you take on field trips or bring an animal to a classroom and get them to fall in love and get that connection. Which is great, but you can't exactly do live animals online. Yes. So how do you get that connection when you're teaching an online class? So, question. Can herpetology be effectively taught online and exclusively online without any live animals other than what the students happen to find? So, the provider I'm using this is Athena Academy, which is an online provider which primarily serves gifted elementary and middle school students, and its classes generally offer middle grade to high school level content. It was started in 2009 and had its first semester in January of 2010. Its average class size is 15 students. I've generally had 15 to 20 students per semester, and there are approximately 350 active students. And it uses a Moodle classroom and Blackboard webinars instructions. So, my role at Athena, there's a little blurb, I'm not going to read it, but there it is. I began a student Athena at age 7, and I was asked in February of 2017 to teach herpetology as a junior instructor. Students offering 8-week classes offering cheap 8-week classes on topics of interest. And I spent 6 months preparing it, and Introduction to Herpetology, my first semester, launched in October of 2017. Starting 2018, I also did a more advanced herpetology course called Herpetology 2, which is not mentioned on these slides, but which contains more advanced content, including more details on conservation and civic anatomy. So Introduction to Herpetology, and what we discussed in this talk is it was an 8-week course with fall 2017 and spring 2018 semesters, with 21 students in 2017 and 12 students in 2018. I lost some students because Athena got hit kind of hard by the California charter school scandal, so we lost a lot of students because of that. So our course weeks, week 1 is discussing basic characteristics of reptiles and amphibians, which was generally reviewed for most students, but was still covered as an introduction course. Week 2 discussed snakes, lizards, crocodilians, frogs, other amphibians, and week 8 was wrapping up the course, and students had opportunity to present about a particular species for amphibian or topic in herpetology. So, and the classroom is like a lot of other e-learning solutions with topical resources, which included things like web URLs, projects, forums in which students can upload files and discuss ideas, or at least use as writing assignments, videos, articles, etc., for students to go through for webinars. Webinars were on Fridays from 11 to 12 p.m. Central, and involved a discussion of the week's topic, including a review of content in the classroom and more in-depth discussion of particularly interesting species of the group of choice, which includes PowerPoint slides, images, audio, and animated GIFs, because we couldn't do video at the time. And webinars took place. Anyway, here's the classroom. They've updated the layout since then, but as you can see, we have a variety of topics here. We have some articles about lizard snake evolution and about relevant species for a variety of levels. I've gotten things from National Geographic, from PBS Learning Media, and from basically anywhere from a government website, and basically anything I can find. And we have a forum here in which students can review comparative anatomy and discuss their ideas with their peers. And here's from a recording webinar, which were available after, which webinars take place in real time this is a real-time text-based chat in which students can discuss the week's topic, and they can also raise their hands and raise questions or discussions using a microphone, coinciding with these PowerPoint slides. And this is a recording of the webinar, which were uploaded after the webinar every week, allowing for students who weren't available for the week's class session or asynchronous students who don't attend live webinars but solely use classroom recordings to review the webinar. Question: does it work? Athena is an interesting circumstance for online education because we're, in many cases, dealing with a group who are already interested in the topic question. And Athena doesn't really believe in doing exams and such, so we don't have the concrete qualitative, we can't grasp improvements. So we have our students' opinions. And whether they're learning things or not, the students are certainly enjoying it. This was from the whiteboard webinar at the last class session. And people are generally, as you see, people here are having fun and emphasizing how they see some great animals, besides the Sicilian amphibian, not from Sicily, and see interesting species, we have researched on how reptile amphibians are portrayed in media as part of that conservation plot point, and so students can tie in things they're interested in and their favorite TV shows, video games, etc. to herpetology, conservation. So I'm going to share some stories about particularly notable students. So one of whom was Wyatt, a student who took herpetology and herpetology 2 3 distinct times, and was just a really passionate kid with definite focused interest in herpetology. He probably could have taught the class himself. And he was from Alaska and did not really have any native amphibians. Oh, near the end, first semester herpetology 2, he did get to see the wood frog. He got finally to see his frog. And Wyatt probably already knew his content anyway, but I got a specific email from his mom thanking me for giving him somebody to talk about this stuff with other than her. Anyway, some other interesting students are Benny, who started herpetology convinced everything was going to eat him. And I explained, no, it's a turtle, it can't eat you. Okay, yes, it's poisonous, but it doesn't live in the same landmass as you. And okay, yes, this does live in the same continent you do, but it's not going to be in suburban Los Angeles. Now, although Benny was legitimately scared of basically everything, by the end of the semester, he was willing to accept that maybe not everything was going to kill him, which presented improvement for kids who really started out scared of snakes. Right? Another interesting student was, and Benny and Wyatt were both on the older end of the spectrum. But Zipporah was 7 when she took herpetology 2, and was just a really fun student to teach, and just had really creative projects and ideas. Which we did creative projects throughout the semester, including things like creating trading cards of a favorite species of snake. And Zipporah was always right on creative projects, really passionate about them, and just legitimately loved the course. And proves that our content appeals to a wide range of ages. And that I get really young students who are taking it as their first Athena's class because it's cheap, or who just plain really like animals, and I get the older kids with a focused interest in the topic, and even the kids who are really interested. And that in my most recent semester, I had a kid who will remain unnamed, whose mom convinced him to take it just to get him into something vaguely resembling school because he wasn't really interested in anything academic, especially not science. And then that kid and his mom went to their local zoo, and that mom was quite impressed that the kid actually feeling like that he knew about what I was seeing. And he definitely gotten that, discussing how desert creatures wouldn't be happy in human environments and vice versa, and simply understood and talked about with his mom his zoo's conservation efforts and understood things like the threat of chytrid to amphibians, and felt that he could mention it to me, and that I'd be glad that he goes to the topic, and that he was clearly enjoying, and that this non-academic, non-animal focused, not really a biology kid had legitimately enjoyed the course and had learned something. And what I've gotten about the course is that it's not about the course itself and about which we can't do all the herpetology stuff and all the labs and such online, but I managed to sell it somehow. And that my enthusiasm and being seen as more than an instructor, as being a peer as well. And that the junior instructor courses provide more connection with the students, and the students perceive more connection than with typical courses, because it feels like, hey, I'm a kid like you, and I'm going to tell you about some really cool stuff. And I do. And they legitimately agree with it. This is cool content. It interests them. And my enthusiastic delivery and being somebody they can relate to, that carries across the content, even when we can't use live animals. So, that's pretty much all I got. In conclusion, is that herpetology can be taught, at least some degree, online. I mean, this was a group that was already interested in the topic, but even for ones who weren't, we saw definite improvement in attitudes and getting that actual emotional connection to the content in the course. And we're saying that there's a market for more in-depth herpetology courses for younger kids. And that as a gifted kid interested in herpetology, when I started out, before things like Athena JMIH in 2014, there just weren't options out there. And that everything was either at a too simple a level or simply sensationalized. And having a legitimate, age-appropriate herpetology course was a huge draw for parents of kids who are interested in it as a focused interest, just for having that be there. So, takeaway, online learning works, and even if you can't hear everything in class, on the curl you can, and think about more than just the teenagers, the college students and such, because younger kids matter, and they're interested in the content, and they want to help, and they want to learn. But for herpetology makers, there just isn't accessible content out there. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, we have 2 minutes for questions.
Go ahead.
I really liked your talk. Thank you for all your stories. I have a question about the webinar style of presentation for content, and it's really teaching us all a different way of learning, because you have the content being presented as the speaker of the webinar, and then you have stream of consciousness going on with the notes, and that interacts with everybody. What do you think about that? How does that help?
Yeah, I feel it definitely helps with getting questions heard, and allows for shy kids who don't want to use a microphone to communicate. It is stream of consciousness, and you're dealing with mostly elementary and middle schoolers here, but they're usually very good about staying on topic, and that my mom admins the course, and we also have, usually any given kid is a designated chat enforcer to help keep things on track. But it definitely allows for the freer expression of ideas, and you can establish emotional responses. And if people go quiet, or I start seeing a lot of sad emojis, then time to show some cute frog pictures.
Anyway, and there was a flyer about Athena.
Tell us about your...
Yeah.
Anyway, I work for Athena Academy, which, if anybody has kids, especially gifted kids, is a great online class provider, and they are basically paying me to say that, so I am kind of biased. Anyway, in all honesty, I've been taking courses at Athena, and I've been involved in it actively since I was 7, and it's really provided a great community for me to bond with people like me with focused interests. So it's really valuable socially for your gifted kids, beyond the courses themselves, which are great too.
Great, thank you. Thank you very, very much.